just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old every single day without the truth. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost. And there I am. Little fucking thing again. I don't know how to do this fucking thing, you know. That's all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to fucking do, to be honest. We'll be able to read any comments. I don't know. Yes, there you go. God, blimey. That was hard work. Saturday morning. Still freezing. It's just nuts, this weather, isn't it, really? Absolutely nuts. I was going shopping today with Francine. She was coming down, but she said, Dad, I can only come. So I said, well, with me doing the watch along this afternoon, I said, just do it tomorrow. I'll do some shopping. She said, do you need anything in now? I said, yeah. So I told her to get me a couple of bits until tomorrow. So that's me sorted for today. Until tomorrow when I do a shop. But I can't get over this weather. I was freezing last night. Last year, or the year before, I don't know when it was, I bought this thing, and I was looking for something in my wardrobe, a couple of pullovers to get cleaned, and I seen this thing. I went, oh, remember that? So I pulled it out, and I wore it last night, watching the telly, after the show, and I looked like a Yeti. It's a big thing, but dead warm. Hoodie type thing, It's hard to explain, but I wore it last night and it was great. I was really warm, I was going to put it on for this, but it would have looked stupid. Forget it. But At least it kept me warm last night, which was a good thing. Good morning, FC, and greetings, people. Why not hit the likes as you start to connect before commenting? Just an idea. Thank you. Thank you. Morning, Frank and chat. Smash the likes and subscribe. I thank you. Thanks, TW. I've been watching, as I said, some films, and I suggested a film called Man Versus. But if you like, if you search it, it's just man and the VS. That's all it is, versus. And it's good. It's good. I just threw it on. I said, what this is about? Because it doesn't tell you what a verse is. And basically, it's about a lad who, where you get these reality programs now, survivalists. We've got them here, haven't we? You see fellas going out into the deep sea and the Arctic and into jungles. Well, this fella's the same. It's a proper film. It's not like a proper survivalist, but he plays this fella who's a survivalist for this little TV company. And his producer and cameraman and whoever, this girl, pick him up to bring him to a remote place somewhere in America. And it is remote. And they just leave him there. You see him making a fire, and it's really good. But one of them says to him, look, we've got to make a good show today. This has to be a good show. They're leaving him there for a couple of weeks, surviving. How these people survive in these remote places without any shops, without any lighters, without anything anyway. So anyway, he goes out, lights a fire, catches a rabbit. You actually see him skinning a rabbit. And I'll just leave it at that. It was good. It was good. The lad's married, the fella's married, and he's got a little daughter, and she said, I'll see you when you get back, Daddy. Yep. It's good. Watch it. That's Man Versus. Man Versus. I watched another one. Well, I haven't finished it because I was watching it last night and I fell asleep. It wasn't boring me. And it was called Cave, or The Cave, or just Cave. Get it on YouTube. And it's good. There's a good actress in it, English actress called Lena Headey, or Headley. She's good, I've seen her in loads. She's actually good, and it's called The Cave. And that was good as well. What I was watching, I haven't finished it. I finish it this afternoon, seeing that I'm not going shopping until tomorrow. Gary Rigby. Hey, Gary. Morning, Frank and everyone. Morning, Gary. That Mandani set the record straight in Trump's face without a whim. Well, I'm glad about that, Callum, because Trump is just... when he says about I've brought peace to 12 wars, 11 wars. I want to know what one. Just one. Name one. They start the fucking things, but and now he's trying to take credit for stopping. I haven't a clue. He used to get he used to get mixed up, didn't he? This is how pathetic they are. With Azerbaijan and Albania. Should have stopped the wars with Azerbaijan and Albania. These are the people that run the world, mate. Just come in. Just come in. What films are you talking about? I watched Deliverance, but got bored with it. I've seen it before. I'm glad you said that, actually, because the things are dated. You know, you watch it for the first time and you go, you know, these hillbillies, and you go, and like the Hills Have Eyes, you know, that was rootless, that though. But that's Deliverance with Burt Reynolds. You see, they become dated. I was watching The Babes, the Tom Hanks. And when I first seen it, it was funny. It was funny, but I turned it off this time because it's dated. Some things are dated, but other things are not dated. They're brilliant. This is why I like, you know, the old Hitchcock films. And I'm going back even to the 30s. And the old propaganda ones, you know, like going into war. And they were making propaganda films. I know they were good. I keep telling people to watch The Way Ahead. It was made in 1940 or something, 41. And, you know, it just gives you about a group of lads, but they're all stalwart actors that you recognise, you know. You go, wow, remember him. And they're good. It's good. It's a good film. Just about ordinary fellas. It's called The Way Ahead. I watched the colour version. David Niven. He's the leader of this ragtag bobtail thing. The Way Ahead. It's really good. It's a propaganda. I don't like propaganda, but we had to have propaganda back in the day simply because we were under bombardment and fighting a regime that's being fought against today. But I'm not going into it. Not going into that. Christopher. Hi, Frank, and everyone. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Christopher. Morning to you. Edward. Hello, Frank in chat. Hey, Edward. The boss says the films I watched this week: The Fixer with John Voight, Mafia-ish. The Delinquent Season with Cillian Murphy, Marriage Relationship. Do you know what? Cillian Murphy, to me, is just an ordinary actor who's made it big. There are some great actors and never made it big, but he has. And My Name is Joe by Ken Loach, Sam and Kate Hoffman and Son. Never heard of them, to be honest. Never heard of them. Any of the films that you watch, boss? Gary says they always show the same films on TV. I don't know why. The Wicker Man. Yeah. Deliverance. Yeah. The Wicker Man, when it first came out, it was with Edward Wood. And he couldn't act the ghost either, could he? Edward Wood. But it was good. Christopher Lee. That was the original. And Brit Eklund. Yeah. I preferred that one than the Nicolas Cage one, to be honest. The remake. But it had to be a Yank, didn't it? It had to be an American. Do you live the Wicker Man? Edward says, Cillian Murphy is good in Dunkirk. Great film and great music in it. Yeah. See, there are some actors I can take to, both male and female. And there's others I can't. Know what I mean? And Murphy's one of them. I've seen him in films, by the way. I've watched them. But that's just me. That's just me. But as I said, try and get hold of Man Versus. Try and watch that. It's really good. And Cave, I watched Cave. And as I said about the Burps with Tom Hanks, but you can tell it's dated. It was funny at the time when it was made. And you can get these on YouTube, by the way. What did I watch? And I had to say, I do go on to new films. And it's just too wokish for me. It really is just too wokish. And you go, why is this allowed? Why is it allowed? I don't know what Jason puts up behind me. War of the Whales. It's great, that, isn't it? War of the Whales. War of the Whales is great as well. The original War of the Whales. Set in America. With Gene Barry. That was good. But you get different versions now. One with Tom Cruise, which was great effects. Special effects. Absolutely brilliant. War of the Whales. So you do get different ones. I just wish that there was a major film, which they have now, but I haven't watched it. War of the Whales, a film, because they made a TV series, but the TV series dragged on with Dougray Scott and one of the Richardsons, Natasha or whoever it was. But it dragged on. So like things that drag on, especially TV series. I don't know about you, whether you like them or not. I just don't know. But I won't watch any series that go beyond 2 series. That's it. I try to avoid them. I watched Tulsa King with Sly Stone. And it was brilliant. First series, absolutely brilliant. It was great, first series. The episodes were absolutely stupid. Then I watched the second. I said, I'll see what this is like. And brilliant. And then I went, oh no, it's going to drag on this. Then it becomes predictable. It really does become predictable. In the third, so I only watched one episode and I went, that's it. Stop watching it. I'm not saying other people to stop because I stopped, but no. and just stopped watching it. The boss says, I only saw the Nick Cage version of Wicker Man. Was the story different in any way in the original? No, it's the same. But Christopher Lee, in the original, it was really good. I like the original. The boss carries on. I'm to be sure, Mr. Murphy is idiot. Oh, you're talking about Cillian. Cillian's unwell and Peaky Blinders. Never watched it. Top of the morning to you. I'll tell you why I never watched Peaky Blinders. You might think that I don't know, I'm not bothered really, but why? See, if I see anything and it's supposed to be historical, it has to be historical for me. It has to be. And you're talking about the ending of the First World War and this gang. And when it was first starting, it came up, Peaky Blinders, and I looked and I went, let's have a go at this. Then I just seen the gang walking down the street. And I seen a certain person to the extreme left. And I said, that's it. Loads of bollocks. So I never watched it. And I won't watch anything that bring in certain characters that weren't there. There would have been no fucking chance of them being there either. You're talking right after the First World War. So it has to be a historical thing for me. Correct. I know it's a fault of mine. It really is a fault of mine. I always remember watching The Longest Day when it first came out, and I thought, wow. Then I watched it years later, and it was precise. It was spot on. So there's things like that. That if they're doing historical things, it has to be right for me to watch, rather than make up things and include characters that weren't there. There would have been a chance in hell that they would have been there. It's like Robin Hood, all the fanfare for Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. Thought it was pathetic. See, they have an American playing an Englishman. Couldn't do the accent, mid-Atlantic. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake. So I watched a bit of it and didn't watch the rest because it really got up my nose. Ali News. Hello. Hey, Ali. Yes, Frank, the boss. Original War of the Worlds was impressive. As a kid, setting them, zap, a priest. Got a gash from the cinema audience. Yeah, it was good, Team Barry. Jean Barry, and strangely enough, with Jean Barry and I think a girl named Anne Robinson, she played like the love interest in it with the Jean Barry one. And in 2005, Spielberg made a remake of War of the Worlds the way he wanted to show it, and it was good. The special effects, I like the special effects rather than the storyline, if you know what I mean. But you see them right at the end. The original cast of Jean Barry and that, I think her name was Robinson anyway, and Robertson or someone like that anyway. She wasn't like a major star or anything. Never quite made it in films. I've never seen her in any. Only that one. The original. Yeah, Peaky was supposed to be in Brum, but much filmed in Liverpool. Yeah, believe it or not, I had a group of people out, and I was up by the Cathedral Anglican, and normally, this I always go down Rodney Street, tell them about Rodney Street, who lived there, and there's a big film crew, and I seen Sam Neill, and I started going over to him, walked over to him, shook his hand. And I said, "What are you doing?" He just looked at me as though I was stupid. He started filming Peaky Blinders. I went, "Oh." I never said, like, I don't watch it or anything. But anyway, it was nice to see him. I didn't even know he was in it, to be honest, Sam Neill. I wasn't going to say that to him. There's a lot of film work done in Liverpool, by the way, and I mean a lot. And I know that they take the likes of Fenwick Street and Water Street as New York. Do you know that? Christopher, War of the Whales, I've read books, listened to the album, watched 2 films, but not watched the stage play. H.G. Wells will always be remade. Great stories. The Time Machine, also great. Yes. Yes, The Time Machine. You see, I do the history of literature with Anthony Brown. And we talk about visionaries, and H.G. Wells is one of them. Great visionary. And he more or less put in words and story about what's going to happen in the future. Just like Eric Blair, known as George Orwell. I watched, funny enough, talking about Orwell, I watched a film just called Orwell. It's a new film. Powerful stuff. Powerful. It's the great narration. The narration is absolutely brilliant. The voice, everything. And I couldn't wait until the end of it to find out who was the narrator. And it was our own Liverpool actor, Damian Lewis. He was brilliant. See, the director, what it was, he was narrating the journals of Eric Blair, George Orwell. He made journals and he was narrating from them. Brilliant. But the director, he was directing it. He was putting his own things into it. What I mean is, showing film clips of things. The likes of Gaza and things. But he had to follow, unfortunately, which was the caveat for me, which was the letdown. But this is me as a historian. He had to follow the Western narrative, and I think he followed the Western narrative to get it out there, and so that people will watch it. It's just like Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, when he wrote Oliver Twist, he had to make a little Oliver Twist to be born, out of a middle class family, so that middle class people would read Oliver Twist in periodicals. Know what I mean? He said, if I make Oliver Twist into a little working class kid, no one will read it. So you'd have to make a little hero, and it has to be from a middle class background. And Oliver Twist was. Great story, don't get me wrong, absolutely brilliant story, because it was a social comment, Oliver Twist. So you see, if you want something to sell, you've got to include something that people will, okay. Just like Oliver Twist and a middle class thing. Just like Orwell and the director following the Western narrative of today. But there are things that he adds that, are hard hitting, by the way. I'd love to tell you, if anyone watched it, say like you all watched it, I'll tell you about the caveats. Whether you agree with me or not, I don't know. To follow the Western narrative. And there was no need for it. But he had to, so that you should follow, you should watch it. But it was good. I'm not taking anything away. It was great. And the narration, unbelievable. Damian Lewis. Good actor as well, Damian, by the way. Great actor. I love The Longest Day, says the boss. It was one of the few popular broadcast films that showed the German side in a language with English subtitles. Yes, I liked the authentic. Yes, that's why I liked it. That's why I liked it. I had a book. It was written by a Swiss general. And it was my Bible about the First World War. Because he was neutral. And he looked at the British side, the Allies, let's just say all the Allies, and also the German side, and about the ordinary soldier and officer of both sides. Absolutely brilliant. Letters written. Letters, that they were writing home, which never got there. Fucking window. I've got a window cleaner outside. I thought it was raining. Rain coming on the window. Fucking useless, honest. He's got one of those rollers, with the big poles. And I said so, went south one day, and there he is, I've seen him with his fucking big pole. I said, why don't you just fucking get a ladder and do them properly? I said, you get paid well for all this. His face shows us, when he looked at me, you could say that he just wanted to say, fuck off. You talking to, but he never. And the boss says to Ali, greetings, how's Romania this morning? To Ali. Sam Neill plays a real evil role in the second of the original Omen films. He plays in a variety of... Yeah, he's a great actor. Jurassic Park, The Omen. Brilliance in The Omen. And you can get the original Omen on YouTube with Gregory the Peck. George Siegel, Peter Finch. You get them all in there. Millicent Martin. I'm only joking. But Gregory the Peck and David Warner was a cracking film. Really good. And you can get it on YouTube. But why I don't like YouTube is they cut some stuff out. And you go, and have you noticed they also put like a blur thing that cuts out whatever's there. And I don't like that. And she says, Frank, I watched the film Man vs. a couple of nights. A very good film and definitely worth a watch. Chat. There you go. Thank you. At least someone has watched it. I was asking people to watch. There's only one series. That's just one condensed. The Outsider with Jason Bateman. And no one watched it. No one. Until a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, I said, will someone watch it? And Johan, he watched it. He said it was brilliant. Just like you saying about that, well worth a watch. And it is. Without giving too much away. It's well worth a watch. Man versus. See, I like films that you can get your teeth into. I like clever films. The likes of Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. Excellent. Clever. And there was another one with Nicole Kidman called The Others. Clever. I like films like that are clever. And I'll tell you another clever one, which I thoroughly enjoyed too, was I keep telling people to watch this. Family Man with Nicolas Cage. Family Man. It's clever. It's a bit of, it's a love story, but it's clever. and I enjoyed it. Poignant. Poignant. Thanks for that, CW, mate. Thank you. Giving it the thumbs up and recommending it for our chat. And the boss, oh, Frank, the original Omen scared the life out of me in the cinema. The lights flickered during the film. And the bit when Peck is about to kill the young Damien, whoa, it's luck at the end. Yeah. I'll tell you something about The Exorcist and R.G. Gerard. R.G. Gerard, he's an avid reader, R.G. Gerard. He always reads. And he was reading The Exorcist. So he went to the loo and he was sitting there reading it. And it was about what you just said there in the Omen, the light flickering. And well, his light flickered right in the loo. And it popped out. It popped out of the thing. And went into his trousers and burnt himself. I fucking ran out. With The Exorcist, he ran out and he threw it. Oh, fuck that shit. Frightening. I watched The Exorcist once, never ever watched it again. It's like the Amityville Horror, isn't it? I watched that once and said, oh, fuck that. Especially when you're living on your own, you know what I mean? You're having to get up to go to live. Fuck, lights on and everything. Mad. Well, that's a good shout there, boss, honestly. It is. Still won't get me still won't get me watching horror films. I have to get all my stuff together to watch our lads. Led by the own ball coach, the other ball coach. Actually. And I won't watch the first Omen film again either. There was Billy Whitelaw, great British actress. She was in it. She was like the governess, the nanny. And you had that lovely, what's her name? And she died so young as well. What was her name? Forget her name. American actress. Well known. Forget her name. Suppose someone will come on there and tell me the name. Tell me a name. But it's sad, isn't it? You know, when you watch these films. I watch films now and, you know, you look and you go, fucking hell, he's dead, she's dead. Oh, fucking dead. She was the governess of the Dog 2, yeah, Billy Whitelaw. The scene at the graveyard, it was full of really heavy stuff. Yes. Yes. It shows you, doesn't it? You know, when you watch a film, it either grips you or, you know, you can watch a film and you just go, nah, turn it up. See, a film for me, excuse me, has to grip you in the first 10 minutes. Me, that is. Yeah. First 10 minutes. And if it doesn't grip you, do you mean Lee Remick, Frank? Yes, thank you. I knew someone had come. Yeah, Lee Remick. Great actress, Lee Remick. And she died so young. You know, that fucking big disease, fucking horrible. She died. She died, unfortunately. I was watching something the other day, and not a film. And I was watching this, and it was like a very small documentary. It wasn't even a documentary. Anyway, it was about Gene Wilder. And he's dead now anyway, you know. And he was suffering from Alzheimer's. And someone took a photograph of him in just walking with his wife. His wife must have just took him out. Fucking shameful. So sad. So sad. Alzheimer's gets you. And some people have died with that. Bob Paisley, greatest manager, greatest football British manager of all time. No one will ever emulate him. And someone said to me, they will, you know, I said, no. I said, the European Cup, he won 3 European Cups with the one club. No one had done it like that before. And there's no more European Cups. It's all Champions League. You had to be champions of your country. And they were a lot tougher then. And he won 3 European Cups. I said the only thing he never won was the FA Cup. Still the greatest manager ever. British. So, you know, and he died of Alzheimer's. Didn't know what he done. Fuck. Horrible disease. It's just dementia, you know, it really is dementia. I was talking to, like when I was working, a colleague of mine, girl, lovely girl, lovely, and she said, I'm going to, I forget where they lived. I forget where her mother lived, that is. Because when she came to Liverpool, Liverpool University, she stayed here and got married and, you know. So anyway, she went down. She said, I'm going to see my mum. She's not well, apparently. I said, well, all right. You know, I hope she's okay when you get down there. And when she came back, I've never seen her for a couple of weeks. She came back. And she said, you know, she was in bits. And she said, she's got this Alzheimer's. It's not my mother. She didn't know me. And I really got to her. But that goes on. Everyone's, not saying everyone, but I'm saying people who have experienced someone with Alzheimer's. Fucking terrible. I remember walking, I was up by our Francine's and I was crossing the road and I seen this gentleman who, just a lovely man. I grew up, when I was growing up and, his sons and I seen him and I went, "Hiya, Joe, how are you?" And he just looked at me, blank. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I said, "You're all right, Joe?" And he's just looking at me blank. And then I seen his daughter, I think her name, and she came over and she said, "Come on, Dad." She said, "He's all right." And she seen how I was looking then. She seen how I was looking. And she just stood, she said, "Stay there," and came over to me. She said, and told me what he had. I said, "I'm so sorry." Just put my head down and walked away. They just got up. She brought him home. He just walked out. And that's the way people suffer. We all do, if we know anyone with Alzheimer's. Thanks for the show, Frank. I'm off to a Christmas market. I've got my thingy glasses on, you see. I haven't got my reading ones. Fucking reading ones kill me. It sounds mad, but they do. Anyway, for some reason, the Dubliners have confused December and November. Xmas trees and songs everywhere. Best of luck. I love the Dubliners. Loved them. And you're not going to believe this, but I was over in Italy and I went to a place, just on I love excursions when I go away. And I went up to a place called Klagenfurt in Austria, just for the day out. And there was a big poster, and it said the Dubliners. So anyway, I went into this, where the poster was. I said, "Are they the Irish Dubliners?" He said, yeah. I said, "Okay, that'll do me." And I went to see them. Fantastic. And over here, I remember being younger, obviously. And all their songs were banned. They were banned. The rebel songs, they were banned here. And when I went to see them in Klagenfurt, they all sang them, all the rebel songs. I don't think the Germans or the Austrians, German speaking, I don't think they understood them, but they were brilliant. The Dubliners. Black Velvet Band. Black Velvet Band, that's what it was all about as well. The lyrics to that. The Irish. Christopher, I can't watch teen horror. I always end up wanting the bad guys to win because the teens are that thick. Exactly. When they go down dark cellar with no light. Yes. And they're always screaming, aren't they? And when you see them, a girl running through a woods, always falls over. And then she turns around and looks up and she's like, "Ah," because the fella's there with a big knife. But I understand and I go along with you there, Christopher. Oh, you want the slasher to win. Oh. I'll tell you what was a good little franchise, by the way, was Final Destination. That was good. Because when your time's up, it's up. So I thought, that's unusual, Final Destination. Where they have like a premonition. I want to get out. I don't want to get out. No. And the friends get out with them. With whoever's at that premonition. And they all go. Good. It's good. I was in Klagenfurt too, played a footy tournament near the Lee. See you, Frank. And all be well there. See, Klagenfurt. It surprised me, when I was there. And I'll tell you for why. It was so inexpensive. And you'd expect everything, to be expensive. But like it is in Austria. And it wasn't. Klagenfurt, but I went to see them. My one at the time realised, you're not half unusual, she said. I said, why? I said, because I asked her to go. I said, you fancy going? No. So I went. And I've been to see, when we went to Verona, walking around there, I seen a big poster. And it said Macbeth, my favourite play. Go to the ends of the earth to see that. And it was on in the arena. It's a mini Colosseum, Verona, fantastic. And I said to her, do you fancy going? No. And there was a couple of black girls on the coach, because they had an excursion up to Verona from where we were staying in Lido di Eslo. And there was two black girls from Birmingham. They were on the coach. And anyway, we had a cup of tea with them. And I said to them, she won't go and see Macbeth with me. And they said, we're going. I said, are you? They said, yeah. So when we got back to the hotel, we booked it. You book it in the hotel and they bring you up there. There was only 4 of us on the coach. There was this fella. And he just sat on his own, at the back. And me and these 2 girls, chatting away. Black girls they were. Macbeth. In Italian. Brilliant. In the arena. And I also seen, a couple of years later, the opera Aida. Unbelievable. The settings. Oh. Oh. But that's me. That's me. So watch The Cave. Watch, it is good, The Cave, honestly. Watch it. If you haven't seen, I'll tell you another good one, which I enjoyed, was The Silence with Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci. Great actor there. Stanley. Anyway, watch that, called The Silence. I enjoyed it. There's another film as well. You won't get that on YouTube though. And there's a cracking film. It's like, I like visionary films, whatever. God blimey. I hate stretching, you know. Sometimes my muscles lock on me. Oh. Anyway, um, it's Nick Cage, and it's a film called Knowing. That's all. Knowing. It's really good. He's a he's a physicist, plays a physicist, and he's got a son, you know. But his wife had died in a fire. You know, doesn't tell you that at the beginning, but nevertheless, he's on his own with his son in his house. And you look, and as soon as I seen his house, as soon as it opens up, you know, and you see him, and he's in the house, his house, and I'm going, there must be something wrong because, see, I look at things, and I said, there must be something wrong because his house didn't seem finished, you know, like wallpaper and a paint. It's like the poem. It's like that poem that you keep saying. Oh, the letters he wrote you, and I can see them still. Not a word of the fighting, but just the sheep on the hill. And now you should get the crops in. You know what I mean? It's telling you that in the letter, the farmers left because someone was just weeping, crying because he lost his son. And he just gave up. Just gave up. So it's like that, you know. And I thought, it must be so. So I watched it, knowing it's really good. But I like films like that. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Just have a go with it. Knowing. Can you get it on YouTube? No, you can't get it on YouTube. You can get it on Prime, I think. But anyway, Knowing. Nick Cage. It's really good, in my opinion, that is. Frank, did you know Andre Ritual is on Liverpool next? Andre Ritual, who's he? Next September. It's inexpensive though, but he is brilliant. Andre. Oh, Andre Rue, yeah, fucking hell. Brilliant. You're not going to believe it, but I bought 2 tickets when he was last year, the year before last. And I bought 2 tickets. Cost me, how much was it? For the 2 tickets, cost me 600 quid. Anyway, I never went for the reasons which I won't go into. And I gave me tickets to our Francine. I said, "Go. Do you want to go and see him?" I said, "I don't want anything. You can have them." But she never fucking went. She gave them to some fella and his wife or girlfriend or whatever. Never even fucking got back to me to say thanks. Fucking annoying, that. Never even said thanks, you know. So I thought, fuck you. So I won't do that anymore. But I might go and see that from Well Enough. Because Andre Rue is brilliant. I wouldn't have paid 600 quid for 2 tickets otherwise. Because I like him. Frank, have you seen, sees the T, a French film called The Big Blue, starring no, I haven't. I like Jean Reno. Brilliant, Jean Reno. Brilliant. Great actor. Love him. He's great in them all, isn't he? Every film he is in, he's brilliant. You see his presence, you see, in every film. I've seen Ronin, 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 with De Niro. Great film. And Jean Reno. And Jonathan Pryce. Couldn't think of his name. Met Jonathan at Radio Merseyside once. Lovely gentleman. Lovely gentleman. Spoke lovely. And I said to him, he played the man from the Prue. And I said to him, did you I said, he got off for you, you know. I said, I don't know whether you're aware. And he said, oh, yes. I said, he was set up. He just wanted a quick arrest and a quick conviction. He said, you seem to know about it. I said, yeah. I said, do a lecture about it. And I said, did you think he was guilty? And he went, no. So, well, there you go. And see, I like Andre Preview. Might as well. Andre Rue. I love it. Andre Preview. I love it. And I'll be on holiday abroad when Rue is on. 289 at the arena. That's it. That's what I mean. Honestly, I paid 600 quid for 2 tickets. You know where you're sitting and that. But as I said, I just fucking gave them away. For reasons I'd rather not go into. But I will go. If I'm well enough, I will. Even if I go on my own. I'll just go. Because I like him. I love classical music, you see. But he does the classical music differently. Andre Rue. Andre Preview. That's brilliant. Hi Frank, just dropping by to say hi. Was reading about the fact that Christopher Nolan finds his inspirations from the books of Jorge Luis Borges, starting with the fictions. Christopher Nolan. I think we all we're all inspired by by books. I've always read books from a very young age. Always. And I always remember getting an encyclopedia for a Christmas present once. It was a Pear's encyclopedia. And I was about 15. And it was brilliant. And I had it for years. albeit everything's updated, isn't it? And I had it for years, and I don't know what happened to it. I think, obviously, I lost a lot of things through lots of transitions in my life, going from one place to another. I always remember going to this house, and this library this person had, and it just a load of encyclopedias, very expensive each one of them. And I said, well, why have you got all that? I said, if you get one now, I said, everything is in it that one's got. And I just pointed at. He said, yes, but it's nice. Well, my wife loves them. I went, oh, they look pretty, he said. Fucking decorative. And that's what some people, if you see my library, it's I'm looking at there, go, fucking hell, why don't you tidy it up? And I just can't be bothered. I just can't. You know, I'm a stickler for reading. Always have been. And when you just put it back. That's it. I don't have them in place. I used to have my history books, right along. And then underneath them, I had my literature books because I love literature. I had War and Peace once because I had to read it as part of something when I was at university. And they said, I want you to do it. I said, okay. Didn't realise. Fucking hell. And they got it. Went up, seen him. And since it was office, this old professor, I said, I can't fucking read that. He said, no, just an excerpt, he said. Just an excerpt. I'm right about it. Okay. And I did. Tolstoy's War and Peace. And I got someone bought me, which was very nice. This lady, and she said, yeah. Because I used to quote Tolstoy. Loved Tolstoy, Leo Tolstoy. Great quotes. And seen her, and she came down, she went, yeah, for you. And it was a little book like that. War and Peace. It was abridged, obviously. And I gave it to my granddaughter because she was looking at my library one day. Told her to look at something. I think it was Romeo and Juliet. She was doing Romeo and Juliet at school. I said, yeah, I'll just go and find it. And she brought that out. A little War and Peace with Romeo and Juliet. And what I did, I gave her it. I said, you can keep that. She said, oh, thanks, Granddad. Thanks. Because it was little, you see, condensed. When I look at things, you know, I've got one of the greatest of all books you can buy. I had two of them, but let one out. There was two versions. The other version I lent out was about, you know, the time of Shakespeare. And Cyril Ternier. Never got a fucking back. Christopher Marlowe. All those great contemporary writers, plays. And that's very thin paper, very small print. That's a Bible to me, though. It's an anthology of everything, from the likes of the Romantics right up to the likes of Seamus Heaney. There's everything in it. And don't forget, the likes of when you read and you see films are totally different from the book. I'm playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order, says Christopher. Yes, we're all inspired from someone else's works all life at any given time. Yes, I was very greatly inspired by an English literature lecturer. Brilliant he was. And I was inspired by a great, wonderful lecturer about Greek mythology. Unbelievable. So those two, besides my old professor of history, they inspired me. They inspired me greatly. And you'd always have a role model, and I try to get those three people into one. A philosopher, I can't recall, said the best artists are the ones who excel at copying their predecessors. I agree with that, I really agree with it, because they've got to be spot on, even with a stroke. The stroke of a brush. Just a stroke of it. They've got to be spot on with the painting. Anthony Brown, he does his own work. He's absolutely brilliant. He's doing works now. He's doing Dickens. He's doing Eric Blair. Who's Eric Blair? Well, I was talking about him before. Eric Blair. And he's doing him anyway. Because he's been greatly inspired. William Blake is doing him. Keats is doing him. Painting. Painting. And the brilliant. Brilliant. And that's Anthony for you. Because he's opening up a little, it's not a so-called exhibition. He's being asked to do something. And he said, can I bring, as a guest speaker, the guest speaker, and mentioned me. And he went, oh, yes, please. So I'll be doing that. God knows when it is. It's when all the works are finished. H.G. Wells he's doing as well, I'm sorry. And Robert Browning. I agree with you there. Absolutely agree with you, Stephen. Afternoon, Frank and Co. Have you watched The House of Guinness on Netflix yet? It's filmed all around Liverpool and set in using architecture set in the 1860s. Worth a look of only for the Dockland present. Oh, Christopher's going. See you, Frank, and everyone. Have a great weekend. Up the movie watching bits. Great, Timothy. I must admit, I've been busy, but I will watch it, Mark. I will watch it, mate. I will. See, a film came up the other day. No, not the other day, last week. Or the other day, I don't know where we are. Anyway, I watched it and it was man versus man versus. And I just got into it. And I recommended it to watch to, the people, Mark. And I got a feedback off it because someone finally watched it and they said, I highly recommended it to the people on here. Watch it. You see, so I understand that there's a film as well. With Natalie Portman and John Kranovich. I forget his name. But he is an American actor. Natalie Portman's an American actor as well. And I was sitting there watching it, and it was good. It was like a little adventure film. I forget the title, unfortunately. And because I didn't think I'd be talking about it. And it's something about a drink anyway. And it's a good one. It's like about a historian, going after something. And the next scene came on. I went, oh. And it was around St. George's Hall, William Brown Street. And actually filmed us too in the Walker Gallery. I went, whoa, this is great. Liverpool, you see, locations for Americans. But it was a good film. I'll try and get the title. I forget it, honestly. It's got a funny title. Natalie Portman. If you Google her, her latest films, you'll see it. And it's well worth a watch too. It's not just one of these mad ones. It's well worth a watch. The House of Guinness. So the architecture, so it's set in the 1860s. Well, there's nowhere better, Mark, than Liverpool for any of that. I was mentioning at the beginning about Liverpool and the likes of Water Street, for example. It's like a New York setting. It's been filmed loads of times. Where you see, the tall buildings and also when you see American flags flying as well, the Americans love flying their flags, don't they? And then the Mersey is the Hudson River. So it's just ideal. And I always remember Tim Roth. He's did a series, good series actually, set in America or Canada or somewhere. He plays a cop, but these baddies are after him. Other cops as well. Forget what it's called. And he said they had to go to England, get out of wherever they were and get to England. And he said, "Oh, yeah, okay, we'll go to London." And he said, "No, go to Liverpool. Liverpool's brilliant." That's what he said. He said, "And they're so accommodating. If we have to do scenes, outside scenes, which we will be doing." And that was Tim Roth. Forget the series. Again, we're forgetting things because it didn't take a year talking about them. Come on, Frank, watch Man versus Didn't Know My Mates from Mars caused all that havoc back home. Good film. Do you know what? TW, Johan, highly recommended it as well. He's seen it. So, thanks, Mark, Johan, for that. Thank you. Good to see you, by the way. And Mark says, Christopher Nolan is making The Odyssey now with Matt Damon as you. Oh, fuck, I don't like him. As Ulysses, hopefully he does a good job of it. Oh, Matt Damon. Fucking hell. I won't watch him. Don't like him. Matt Damon. He fucking miserable fuck. Every film I've seen, fuck off. Matt Damon. That's his acting. Oh, well, I won't be watching that, I'm afraid. And I'll be full of fucking woke anyway. With him in it. I'm glad that you said, hopefully, Mark. And hopefully that Jürgen Slot, as someone called him, will do a good job today. Has anyone ever considered doing one of those epic sport movies on Shankly's Eden? No. Wouldn't it make a great story with the backgrounds of bringing happiness to the city and its struggling people? No, because it's Liverpool, you see. No one will fucking do that. And there's been loads, there's been like plays, TV plays about it as well. I don't know. I wouldn't like to see it, to be honest, because it's putting Liverpool in a bad light, that Stephen. Struggling, what you said. Keyword, struggling. I don't want to see fucking people there, looking at Liverpool and looking at fucking being struggling. They were struggling then and still struggling now and all this fucking crap. So no, disagree with you entirely there. I totally agree with you there. I'm worried it won't be so good. I read much about casting woke choices. There you go. And that's even before that. I didn't know that they were making one, and you've just summed up everything I'll be afraid of. Stephen, woke choices and wrong costumes for the period, or any actually. Matt Damon. Fucking hell. Couldn't he get anyone better than him? Surely to God. Could have got Jim Caviezel. He would have been good as Ulysses. But then again, he's not a woke person. That's why I won't watch any woke films. I could say something, but I'll be called something. And I don't want to fucking say it, you know. Because what you get is there's a certain film out, and I'm not fucking going into it. I'm not going into it, sorry. But it's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying. You look and you go, for fuck's sake. Fucking terrible. I'm just one of these fellas who, you know, likes a good film without any bollocks in it at all. You know, a good, strong film. But today, you're getting these woke things, which is wrong. I don't know why, you know, they do it. I just don't know why. I always remember Clint Eastwood a couple of years ago saying, I feel sorry for actors these days because if they pick up a script, he said, I've seen these scripts and it's shocking. And that's Clint Eastwood. You know, how many films could, say, like Dirty Harry, for example? That'll, you know, if they did that today, like Dirty Harry, that name would be changed. And it'll be so different, if you know what I mean. Bit woke. Didn't mean anything negative again. No, I know you didn't. But you know I love you. Of course I don't. I just meant it as the usual narrative of a team lifting the hopes of people. I've always said about the not the 60s, not the 60s. And if you would have listened to me last night, that would have been different. I mentioned the 80s with the managed decline of a city by a government, a certain government of this great city of ours. Managed decline. They wanted to see a decline of a city. And then you had one of their own MPs, Theresa Gorman, who said we should build a wall around Liverpool to show future generations how they lived. And I said, only because of football with Liverpool and Everton, they were the kings at the time of football in this country, especially Liverpool with the Europe. And they saved us from apathy. We could have become apathetic without that football. But they saved us because we looked forward to seeing two great teams go head to head against others, the opposition, whether Liverpool in Europe, Everton, they won the league. They were good. So they saved us. If you would have said the 80s, but what the team would have to be was having a go, the narrative, having a go at a government saying about, but how the resilient the people in Liverpool were and strong rather than struggle. See, we resist struggle. The people of Liverpool resist struggle. I know that you love Liverpool, you and Daniela. That's why you come over all the time. So if you would have said the 80s and the narrative against a government and the resilience of the citizens of the managed decline city, yes, there'll be no for that. But they won't make that. No fucking way. Liverpool is not liked, unfortunately. Stephen, Anthony was mentioning what you said in another fashion. I too scroll down for hours to find a new movie I would watch. Always landed on the same classic films I appreciate differently with age. Absolutely, I do. You see, you can look. I love Alfred Hitchcock. I like Spielberg. Spielberg. I like him. Things like that. I like disaster films. But they've got to be spot on. What I mean by spot on, they've got to be the special effects, especially today's special effects. They've got to be spot on for me. The likes of, I was mentioning this before, War of the Worlds, the original with Gene Barry. And it was good. It was good, the original War of the Worlds. So, there's films like that. Someone mentioned The Wicker Man. And I said the original with Christopher Lee about a cult on an island in Scotland. Very good. But that was an original. See, I like a good disaster film, as I said. I like a good adventure film as well. I remember seeing one, and it was about not Flight of the Phoenix, which was excellent. Great film. Recommend it. Get it on YouTube, funny enough. But I watched the film, I forget the title of it, because I only ever seen it once years ago. I'll tell you that the star in it was Stuart Whitman. And there was something about the Kalahari Desert. the Kalahari Desert. I think Kalahari was in the title as well. And it was really good. Never seen it since. It was really good. Like the survivors had to fight off fucking baboons. Baboons. It was really good. But you've got to know the titles, haven't you? I watched the second Independence. Wasn't as good. No, yeah, crap. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't watch Independence Day because they made it into a comedy. And it was supposed to be a serious film. And once that happens, you go, nah, fuck that, I won't watch it. And the first one was good with Will Smith, yes. But I wouldn't watch it. Jeff Goldblum. I like Jeff Goldblum, good actor. But I've gone off that Will Smith ever since what he did at the Oscars to that lad. Give him a slap. Don't do that. The Fly, yeah, great. Great film, that. Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis. Great film. But even the original was good, Edward, with David Edison and Vincent Price. Vincent Price. So, as I said, Johan came on and said, man versus. TW said, man versus, which you recommended, and they're recommending them. Watch them. Watch it. Watch The Cave. I think you'll like that. The Cave. You'll find it on YouTube. Talking of disaster films, the scenario of the slow. Hang on, I've got my reading glasses on this. The slowing of the Gulf Stream, used then the day after tomorrow, has been reported. Go away. Go away. The Day After Tomorrow was a good film. Good special effects. That's what I like. Yeah. That's an interesting thing, what you said there. Slowing of the Gulf Stream. Did you like 2012, says Edward? Yes. Loved it. John Cusack, but the ending was fucking diabolic. Unfortunately. I'll tell you for why, but getting back to the Gulf Stream, if anything slows down, look, I stream, I used to, I don't do it now, unfortunately, it's gone off. Siberia, and a little place called Ust-Kut, just to see how the people were, great streaming, just watching them. different parts of Ushtkut. And you actually see, I was streaming it for a year. And I started streaming it when it was summer there. Our summers. And you see them walking around with T-shirts on. And it's got the degrees up, 28, 32, 33 degrees centigrade. And then winter starts early. And that starts around, the end of September coming in. You just see the temperature dropping. And then you see the River Lena freezing up. And when it's really solid, you see cars passing over it, just driving over to get to the other side of the river. Incredible. So if that Gulf Stream hits them, the Gulf Stream's slowing down. That's disaster. That is disaster for his stepping. Yeah, 2000, I'll tell you for why I didn't like the ending. The fella who saved them all was forgotten. And that was the husband of the girl, John Cusack's ex-wife. He was the husband. And he saved a lot of them. And he gets killed. And you see John Cusack, with his ex-wife, who's the wife of the fella who saved them all, like that. And I thought, oh, fuck off. Not having that. Fucking hell. The lad should have been saved. Anyway, Edward. The day after tomorrow was good. The way the sea floods. Yeah, New York, brilliant. It was good. It's very cold in Yakutsk. I've seen a video on YouTube. Yeah, get it, Ushtkut. Y-U-S-T. No. Y-U. Yeah, S-T. Ushtkut. And it's K-Y-T. Ushtkut. She's showing it then. You see the river float. But it doesn't go live anymore. But there are things on YouTube that you can actually watch. Stephens, don't watch the mayor of. I like Jeremy Renner as well. The mayor of Kingston, free violence, the worst of US a crime culture, and 2 seasons of enduring, still no clue on the goal that benefits of the protagonist. Yeah, I watched I think I watched the first series of it. Jeremy Renner. I haven't watched it since. They can't turn their cars off because the cars will freeze. And if we don't buy Russian oil, no fucking cars will be going. Did you know that any diesel, if they're still buying Russian oil, the West, take no fucking notice of von der Leyen. It's still coming through. It has to. Because they've got the only oil that can make diesel. And how many diesel cars are there around the world? Think about it. It's a load of fucking bollocks what they're coming out with, especially Ukraine. Most corrupt country. He's been found out, and the West are doing nothing about it. That Kaya Kallas said, unfortunate, when she was asked, what about all this corruption? This is 100 million is tip of the iceberg, and I mentioned it last night. How could he afford a vineyard in Italy? How could he afford a piece of Caribbean islands? How could he afford to buy a fucking bank, for God's sake? Zelensky. How could he afford a $30 million house, mansion in Florida? How could he afford houses in Mayfair and Kensington here? How could he afford homes in the middle of Paris? Most expensive city on the planet, Paris, to buy anything. And all that she said was, the reporter said, what do you think of the corruption in surrounds Zelensky? She went, oh, it's unfortunate, but when it's all about fucking hating Russia, sorry, it's unfucking There's a good one. Electric cars don't work below freezing. And on that wonderful note, I'm going, people. Thank you for keeping me going today, this morning. Never got through so many like films or anything, did we? Unfortunately. I try and watch your TV. It's only a small TV, small series. I like small series where you can watch and even watch them back to back. But out to season 2 and 3 and 4, I won't fucking do that. And that's why I keep recommending The Outsider. But there's also another one called Spotless. Brilliant. Both of them series, and you're on it with Bryan Cranston. But only the first series. That's it, because they did the second one. I thought, fuck that, I'm not doing that. So, brilliant. Just watch them. The Outsider, you're on it, Spotless. And on that wonderful note, watch The Silence as well, as I've mentioned, with Stanley Tucci. And also, what did I mention? Knowing with Nick Cage. And I recommended Orwell, a new film with one of the great narrations you're ever likely to hear. Great voice, Damian Lewis, Scouser. Big Liverpool fan as well. Orwell. I watched it, but there was caveats in it where I reckon, where I reckon that the director of the film, because it's reading, Damian Lewis is just reading journals from Orwell. Brilliant. And what his vision was, what everything was, and what he hopes to achieve, or, what the fucking world hopes to achieve. And, but the director was putting things in that I disagreed with. You'll understand, if you know what I mean, when if you look at it, but it's really good. So anyway, that was made. It's called Orwell. I recommend it. And that's it. Orwell. Ezra. Thanks, Frank. What time are you back on? 2:15. For the watch along, Edward. 2:15, mate. TW, thank you, Frank. What time are you starting for? Uh, well, obviously, I'm coming on at 2:15 for a pre-match because we don't need an hour or whatever. So we'll just talk about it. We'll have the team then as well, so we can discuss the team that the Sloop man will pick. Stefan, thanks. Good to hear you to start the weekend. Will you comment on the game? Yeah, I am, Stefan. And Johan. Franco, like small series, like slot, like small squads. He's fucking changed his mind. He said the squad's not big enough. This is what kind of a fucking prick we've got as a manager. Okay, now. Or a coach. Incredible. He's changed his mind. Johan. When he first said, I like small squads. Small squads, I like. Now he's going, squads too small. He's the chef. He's the Michelin chef who can't bake a fucking cake with new ingredients. If you know what I mean. If you get the analogy. Give you the fucking... But you see the quote there about comments. I want Isak to start. He has to start score. Say yes, I want Isak and Ekatike up front. Edward, see you in the chat soon. There's Misty. Hello, Misty. Glad. I was going to say I'm sorry to swear. Caught me swearing. Just popping in to say a quick hello, Frank. Hope you have a good day. Up the fucking Reds. Thank God for that. Brilliant. Thank you, Misty. And thanks for popping in to see everyone. And all those things. I just want to thank these wonderful people for sponsoring every Frank Carlyle podcast. Got painting services. If you're going to do anything for Christmas, please, please, please get these lads in. They're fully time served. There's no fucking cowboys either. They're fully time served. Every single one of them. They're fully insured. Just in case anything goes wrong, it'll be replaced. And just get them in. If you're an NHS worker, special discount. Don't struggle trying to decorate, paint or whatever. If you're an elderly person, you too get a special discount. Whether you're on your own or, you're a happy little couple. Get them in. Get painting services. And if you don't fit into the categories, just call them in for a price. Without any obligation. Any obligation. And you'll see me later on. Thank you. As I said, I'm not going shopping with our Francine today. She was supposed to come down now, but I said leave it until tomorrow. I've got this because she's doing things anyway. She has to do things herself rather than rush me to the shop. So, but she's bringing me something into until tomorrow. Better do a proper shop. And from me, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you later on. Ciao. Up the Reds.